they feel that there is a change as well. Now, recovery and reconciliation is something that is making headlines all over the place. Could you tell me a little bit about what your view is when you're working with the North and the South?
I think it's about the South reaching out to the North, and even the Tamil community diaspora. The more people get involved helping, then the process becomes that much more faster, and it gets expedited. They need to be given as much help as we could. Seeing the kind of backdrop they live in under difficult circumstances, without electricity, sharing water, and even sanitation facilities. So it's actually taking place, but probably it could be fast-tracked. And if we all collectively help, as we usually, especially the overseas, I know some of the Tamil community diaspora has helped us to deliver some of the work that we are doing. So it's been really great, and you have to always look at the positive side, and more people helping without talking might be the answer.
Yes, I believe we have some more images of the work that you do with the Foundation of Goodness, which will be coming up. And again, schools. Now, schools is very important part of the organization. Where is this?
Well, this is all the kind of workshops that we do, and in terms of trying to improve their life skills.
Now,
So
I do believe that certain famous personalities have been helping the schools out as well. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
well, in terms of now the images you see are the essential school supplies that we provide, and that I think about 1,000 of them was gifted by Muttaya Muralidharan. And he and I have been very close in our association for a long time now, almost a decade. And he barters his celebrity status and the fame. He goes to a school in England or two, then he coaches and gets paid. But that is what he puts into in terms of buying kids essential school supplies, and 1,000 of that would be about $30,000. So that's huge. It's about 3.5 million rupees. And that's what he contributes. And he would even, I remember when we built 1,000 houses post-tsunami, he bartered his, again, like celebrity status for an endorsement with a cement manufacturing company, Lafarge. And they provided 100,000 cement bags. So we were able to build houses much cheaper than most. So this is the way they help, and I think the public should be aware. As much as they earn a lot of money, they also give back to the community.
I see. Now, talking about the volunteers, now they're volunteering their help. The cricketers are obviously volunteering their help, but there are other volunteers coming down to help this organization from around the world. Could you tell me a little bit about the volunteers?
Yeah, actually volunteering is a very special segment because we have in our project about 500 volunteers who have come in the last 7 years, especially post-tsunami, who have reached out nationally and internationally. Every month I have about 5 of them staying with us and helping out. They make amazing changes. It changes the world, changes the community, changes the way the people, people's lifestyles, especially in the rural areas. The dimension that they bring in to improve and elevate the standards are really huge. So they are really priceless in terms of what they offer. So I've been very lucky that they come and take a look at, and it's all about benchmarking and raising the bar. So when that happens, we get into further kind of measurements for others to keep raising their bar. So that has really helped, and I think it's a good thing for volunteers to come and do some work because it changes your life as well, because you realize that you have a lot that you have got which you take for granted, and others don't have that much, and they're content, and we worry about the things we don't have. So I think the entire perception of your life changes. I've seen many foreign volunteers who have come and said, this has been a life-changing experience for me, and I would definitely change my life for the better. So that's what volunteerism does.
Do you get a lot of volunteers from Sri Lanka?
Yes, also from Sri Lanka. There's a fair amount of young people wanting to make a difference because they know they have been blessed and their privilege. So they want to share that and care for those who are really, in the rural villages, and that has helped hugely. And I've seen many collaborations that has emerged by them visiting villages, so that they, join hands together and make a difference, and it's been really lovely.
Now, the Volunteerism Day a few months ago was a big day for the Foundation of Goodness as well. You did rather well.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you volunteer, you don't really compete, you don't compete to serve humanity. So if you're recognized, well, and if it's going to create an awareness, then, it's fine. But, when you serve humanity, as I said, you don't expect anything in return. And that's because of the purity of intentions and, your compassion to, lift others, who are less privileged than you are. So you don't expect anything in return, but if it comes your way for, better awareness or to help others more, then that's fine.
Yes. Now, just going back to the Sinigama model that you created, it has become a model holistic village almost. Could you tell me, do you see it being replicated anywhere else?
Well, the one problem I see is that the Sinigama village project is so gigantic that it can't be really replicated in every village, because we have 30 empowerment activity sectors. So it's huge, and we have a huge sports academy, plus my former villa and the property has been now gifted to the Foundation of Goodness, so it has 10 sectors around it, and altogether about 30 in the village. So with the sports academy, so it can't go into every village. But what we've done is we have experimented, and we have got a scaled down version called the Village Heartbeat Center. And we've got 2 of those projects in a remote village called Udumulla in Hikkadua region, and also in Monrovia Estate in Radgamam, where we actually cater to about 500 children and youth, women, adults, to be empowered. In these, so there's about 10 villages that take advantage of this Village Heartbeat Center. So that's a busing place. We teach computers, we train them in English, we have children's goodness clubs, life skills development programs, women's enterprise, we have a library, a little cottage for volunteers to go and take refuge there and do some work. So it's really worked very well. About 10 villages. So if you have one of these in 10 villages called the Village Heartbeat Center, it's like a rural school. It's a busing place after school, and you bring out the talents that you have, and that's been amazing. So it's really worked very well. So that's the project that I advocate, to try and go into other villages, which we hope we can one day.
Do you see it going into the north? Sinigama model turning up somewhere there?
Our long-term goal is to create the North Learning and Empowerment Institute in the north. On a bigger scale than even in Sinigama. His Excellency the President has gifted Murali as a tribute to the work on and off the field, 50 acres in Mankulam. And that is something that we hope will materialize. Of course, at the moment there are some bureaucracy and technical difficulties in terms of getting the land cleared. But if we do get, we have donors who have pledged to build the kind of infrastructure that can provide the opportunity, the facility, the training, and the exposure for North, rural communities to make that real progress.
So if there are any volunteers out there who would like to be part of the Foundation of Goodness, how would they go about it?
Well, it's very simple. You go to our website, unconditionalcompassion.org, and or if you Google Foundation of Goodness, you can get into our website. And on the website, there's a special area called the volunteer section. And once you go to the volunteer section, everything is outlined there, what they can do and how they can get about. So they have to download the application form, fill it up, and send it to us with their CV. And we will evaluate in-house with our supervisors and then make the placement. So it's simple as that. And that's why we have lots of volunteers coming to us by word of mouth. Really, we don't advertise as such. But there are so many who today, you know, with the internet and gateway to the world, you know, lots of people can find where they can volunteer. So we have a very special program. We have the infrastructure catered for volunteers to really make better plans, so they can come always and help. There's no problem, and helping others is real happiness, right?
Yes, of course. It's a very valuable experience. Well, unfortunately, we're at the end of this interview, but thank you so much for joining us and telling us about the inspiring work of...
Thank you for inviting me, and I think goodness is the only investment that does not fail. Thank you.
All right, so with that, we're going to take a short commercial break. I'll see you guys on the other side with the discussion on diabetes.